Welcome back to the Smugglers Den. This is episode 48. As always, thanks to SW Destiny for hosting the Smugglers Den. And thank you to all my Patreon supporters. And I have to make an apology real quick. Patreon supporters, I've been kind of checked out with my new job, working hard at it, trying to get as much content out as I can. I realized I hadn't been posting that much on Patreon in a long time. So for you, I posted a video that I didn't post anywhere else. I'll be posting other content there as well. Come on by if you haven't been by in a little bit. I'm active again. I'm back. What's up, Mike? How you doing? And like Michael Jordan once said, I'm back.
I'm back.
That's right.
I'm doing good.
I feel like I've been gone. Like, I know I've been making some content, but I've been playing very minimally. I just haven't had time. I've been able to squeeze out a little more time. This meta is so amazing that I've sort of forced myself to squeeze out more time. And man, I've been churning out some content as a result. I've recorded like 4 games in the last 2 days, posted 3 of them in different spots. It feels like I'm back, Mike, and I'm having a good time.
Well, it's good to have you back. I think we've played more games in the past 2 days than we have in the past 2 months.
Yeah, that's for sure. And you know what? This is more games I've played in the past 3 days than I've played in like a month. I'm not back to my 100 games a week. That's not going to happen. But I might be able to get around 20 a week now, which would be pretty darn solid. And if we start kicking up this every Thursday thing, you know, maybe 30 games a week. And that's not amazing. I'm probably not going to be winning world championships only playing 30 a week, but you know, I can still be highly competitive, which is really my goal. Well, yeah. Okay, let's not be liars. My goal is to win the world championship.
Let's all be honest here. Yeah.
We just had a little excuse built in there for when I don't win it. I think that's really what happened, and I just realized it as I said it, and I was like, all right, let's just own this. That was an excuse. Okay, cool. So I've been playing quite a bit. You've been playing quite a bit. Let's just talk about some decks we've been playing. Last week with Mike, we kind of laid out what we thought were the best decks, and we'll kind of re-engage that later in the show as we talk about regional results. But let's just talk about what we've been playing, what we've been personally finding effective, not effective. Let's start there. Mike, what's a deck that you've played a fair amount recently that you either like or don't like?
A deck that I like, that I think is extremely good, that I don't think anybody can really argue about at this point, is Qui-Gon Kanan.
Really? I think that's tier 4.
If four is the highest and one's the lowest, then you're right.
Okay, good. We're on the same page. Yeah, I agree. That deck is really good.
Yeah, I think that there are a few different ways that you can build it, and it's really hard to go wrong. Like, it's almost hard to build a bad Qui-Gon Kanan deck right now.
Yeah.
But I've been having a lot of fun, a lot of success with the various versions and builds. I'm still tweaking things to try and make it cooler, more fun, better.
Yeah.
All that good stuff.
Yep, I agree. Qui-Gon Kanan is really good. Kanan's just awesome. He's really, really good. I'm a little worried. He's 10-13. It seems like all the good 10-13s get nerfed. I don't feel like he's so good he should be nerfed. I think he's just good.
No. Well, yeah, I don't think he's so good that he can be nerfed. But yeah. On the other hand, can you compare Qui-Gon to Poe? I mean, sorry, Kylo. If Kanan was a villain character and you could pair it with Kylo too,
it'd be over.
I don't know, but I can't see a world in which he is being nerfed. But I think he is the perfect sort of aggressive slanted support character at that point cost.
Yeah, I really love him. I think he's great. I think he makes that deck. He's the character that deck has been looking for, which is so cool.
Yeah.
Let's see, a deck I've been playing a lot of. I played a lot of five dice villain the last couple days, made a couple videos. Man, when that deck works, it's just unfair. It's just flat unfair when you can go one drop on Bala, turn 1, roll out 7 dice. They don't have removal, or they have minimal removal. You hit them for 9 and then you kill them next turn. And there's what happened? What the heck happened?
Yeah, that deck is probably the one I'm most afraid to play against because of those things.
Yeah.
And I've played a bit of that. I've been like trying to help D House, my co-host on the Jedi Trials, practice for his regionals coming up, and I played that deck against one of the decks that he was thinking about bringing, and it was just so brutal.
And now he's not thinking about bringing that deck.
Now he's not thinking about bringing that deck exactly.
I mean, really, 5 dice villain is your deck too slow? And if it is too slow, it better be real sturdy. And we're gonna show you why. You ready?
Yeah.
Boom! Your deck just got blown out. There you go. That's why.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What's really brutal about the deck also is the dice have so many sides with guns that like I nut rolled somebody and rolled out like 6 guns, and they're like, "Oh God, okay, that's cool." That's cool, man. I'm gonna sound the alarm, and I was like, "Yeah, this is not gonna go well. Like, there are too many gun sides for sound the alarm to be working here. This is a dodge or you're wrecked situation." Try to guess what happened out that sound alarm. Did it work out for him?
I'm gonna guess not.
It did not. His character died.
Ding ding ding.
Yeah. So sound the alarm. I'm not a big fan of sound the alarm in this meta. I feel like there's too many decks that have too many sides with weapons, and it just, I don't know, like you sound the alarm on Qui-Gon, Kanan, and the Shoto has 3 damage sides. You've got the ancient lightsaber can come up with a +3 magically. It's just like there's so much nonsense that can happen.
Yeah, I think that like that needs to go in a specific deck where you know you're not going to have resources for mitigation, and like that's why you play it. It's because like you need to be able to hit the like oh no button when your back's up against the wall and you don't have any resources. But people have been putting it in just like every single deck. I'm not quite sure that's right.
Yeah, I don't think it is. I think if there's better options for you, especially like you said, if you have resources, use those options. Heck, if you have resources, throw a dodge in there. Maybe
I was gonna say that. Yeah, Dodge is a really good card to play right now in a lot of decks. So.
Yeah. All right. What's your next deck then? What have you been playing?
I've been playing a bit of Poe 2 Ray, or sorry, R2P2.
Okay.
And I have mixed feelings about it.
I have strong feelings.
What are your strong feelings? I have a feeling they're similar to my mixed feelings.
I have come to the conclusion that the new Poe is bonkers. Like, he's not just good, he's insanely good, especially in the right deck that can chain specials. Like, this whole notion of chaining specials is feeling more and more broken to me. I'm not sure that I like this. I feel like there's a lot of room for exploitation there. And he has that, and he has all the damage sides and the 2 focus. Remember in the last set, we would play garbage cards that had 2 focus for a similar cost just because they had 2 focus. This dude has damage sides and another focus side that gives a shield out and chains it. It's like he's borderline broken.
When you can compare him to a character like Leia, who's like a point more than him, I think, in each of her point costs. Like there's she doesn't even hold a candle to how good Poe is. And then like when you go as far as Akbar, like he's 11-14 instead of 11-15. It's like why would you ever even consider it? Other than to hit that 14 point number if you need to. But he has the 2 gun, the 2 focus, and then the special, which is a shield and it lets you focus. It's really good. And if you're worried about special chaining, Legacies, it does not improve that situation. Or it does if you're on the other side and you like special chaining.
Yeah, I feel like there's already a number of really, really nice special chains you can do. And, my problem, though, with the deck, and I think you're going to have a similar thought, is that Rey is not good. Like, she's fine. She's okay. But to me, new Rey is not the kind of character that is a major player in a tier 1 deck. She is a tier 2 fine character for that cost. And I feel like because of that R2P2 deck ends up being wildly inconsistent for me. Which is funny because everyone talks about it's so great because of the consistency, but I find that with only having 2 damage sides on each of them and one of them being a 1, it's like there's plenty of games where you just don't roll damage.
Yeah, yeah. I've thought that before playing the deck, where it's like, oh wait, what? Everybody thinks this is consistent, and then I'm only rolling like like resources and
Discard sides.
yeah, like resources, like one damage, blanks, like
Yeah.
discards, shields. The only time that I felt powerful playing as Ray was a game
Against
that
me?
that we played last night.
Bloodbath.
But like when you get two Shoto lightsabers on pretty much any character,
Yeah.
like it's good. It's good. It wasn't good because they were on Ray. The extra damage was nice every time I activated, because I would get two shields and then deal one damage off of Ray's ability.
Right.
But I'm not convinced that that it's worth Ray.
Yep. I agree. And I think Poe is so good that he's kind of masking the fact that Ray is not the answer. And I mean, we'll talk about this later, but this deck won a regional, right? So
Yeah.
it's a good deck. I'm not saying this is not a good deck. What I'm saying is I feel like Ray is holding it back, and I think there are better options. I think when we move to Legacies, we're going to see New Luke being a fantastic option to help out Poe. But I think there's good options now. I posted a video yesterday, I think, Elite Poe Ezra instructor deck, and I wrecked my opponent. He didn't kill any of my guys, but they didn't have that strong of a deck. I posted it in my Discord channel, and someone said, "Oh, I just won 5 straight games with that deck. That deck is busted." And I was like, "Oh, okay." It was hard for me to evaluate against somebody who was running a bad deck. I shouldn't say a
Right.
bad deck, but like an experimental fun deck against what ostensibly should be a tier 1 deck. And it's interesting because the instructor with Poe is kind of nuts, right? It's like you've got the gun side, you've got the special side. Poe can chain specials with Ezra. You can go like grab a shield, steal $1 from your opponent with Ezra, chaining that if you need to like take them off removal, or if you need that dollar for your own removal. Like there's just all these crazy options, and it's a ton of health. Caution now goes from like, come on, fingers crossed, get caution early. Whoa, crapped out, I didn't get caution, to whenever you get caution, you're pretty much fine.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know. I feel like that deck is good. I'm not saying it's actually better than R2P2. I need to test it a lot more, but it's promising. And then on the other side, Kanan Poe seems really good as well. I think that's probably better than Ray.
I think that's my preferred version. Is with Kanan. It makes the deck a lot faster, which is important right now. Being able to stay ahead of your opponent, and he just he lets you play both like force misdirection pretty easily and defensive position, which is like the two big blowout removal cards that heroes have.
Yeah, and it's the big problem right now with R2P2s. It feels like if your opponent nut rolls you and you don't see cautions, you're in trouble. Like, it's just as simple as that. You are in some trouble. Now, if you see cautions and they don't nut roll you at all, and like you said, you just pile up the Shotos and laugh and blow them out, yeah, that definitely can happen, and it's a hardy deck in that way. But, man, I've had a lot of games where I did not see the cautions, and eventually I was like, you know what, this is not working out for me.
Yeah, the deck is built well. At least the decks that won, the regionals as well as at the Galactic qualifiers were built more around sustain rather than removal, and that can work pretty well against like a Qui-Gon Kanan type deck where they're just sort of like attritioning you and like pinging you to death. But against something like Palpatine, or against like Mace or something like that, like removal is quite a bit better.
Yeah.
So to be able to have that as an option, and I mean, like, if you can remove all your opponent's dice on a turn, like, obviously that's amazing. So the more chances you have in your deck to be able to do that, like, the more you're gonna win.
Yep, totally agree. I think that's what we're going to see people move to, and I think those are going to be really strong decks. I mean, the fact that already Poe is carrying a really not amazing Ray this far. This is one of those things I feel like if this was a serious meta, which I don't feel like it is because Legacies is on the horizon and so many people are just kind of like, I'm just having fun, I'm just playing. I feel like if this were a real serious meta, R2P2 would have popped up at the Galactic qualifiers and people would have innovated to probably Poe Kanan for regionals, but they didn't because it's like I just don't feel like people are quite as dedicated right now. People are having fun, people are putting some games in, but it's not that same thing of like Gen Con is on the line. With knowing Legacies might be, I'm looking at my calendar, it might be 16 days from now. Like, are you really going to kill yourself for a meta that exists for no amount of time?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I don't know, but I it's a strong opinion I have. I'm sure I'll take a lot of heat for it. I don't think Poe Ray is the answer. I think Poe is amazing, and he will carry some other combination. I'm excited to see if this Poe Instructor Ezra deck works out, man. That would be kind of cool.
Yeah, it looks like a really cool deck. I watched the video that you posted today, and I liked it.
We'll play a game in the next couple days. We can record it, and you can blow me out like you do in all the games we record.
All right, let's do it.
All right. Let's see. The next deck for me, I decided to try the new Kylo. Was it Kylo Vader? Because I think that's exactly the kind of new Kylo deck that I think can work. Because Vader is so awesome. But they have to handle Kylo. He has 2 dice, and then you can just be like, all right, I'll just load up Vader with force powers. Good luck dealing with that while you're trying to deal with the new Kylo. But I played against you last night, and what happened when I guessed the color from your hand?
It didn't go well.
It was sound the alarm every dang time, Mike.
three times in a row, it was the same exact sound, the alarm.
Oh my god, it was frustrating.
Yeah, that was really rough.
Yeah, that was. I mean, and I knew you had it, so I could have guessed gray.
Yeah, but like you're never gonna guess gray. Yeah,
like it's a 1 in 5, and I know one's gray.
Yeah, for whatever reason, like I feel like that's always how it goes when I play new Kylo as well.
Yeah,
I always miss even if it's a 4 out of 5.
Yep.
So yeah, I've never had good luck when it comes to that kind of thing.
Yeah, I was playing him against our buddy John a couple weeks ago at the shop, and
Mm-hmm.
we do a lot of mind games with each other, right? And so I do Kylo, and I guess blue, and I pull out a red card or whatever, and he's like, "Yeah, it's fine. My whole hand is red anyway. I don't have any blue this turn." And I was like, "Whatever. I know better than to listen to any of the garbage you're saying." And then the same thing happened the next 2 turns, and then he shows me everything. He was like, "Yeah, I only had 1 red card each of those 3 turns. I was just trying to convince you the next turn to guess red, so I purposely didn't use many cards so you would think I had all red." And I was like, I know. That's why I kept guessing blue, jackass, and I kept getting the red card anyway. But yeah, that's kind of how it goes with me. And when that happens, new Kylo is a lot worse.
Yeah.
But he's still really good. I mean, he's got 3 damage sides, so he's pretty baller.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's still good. It just turns out that when you don't get an automatic, like extra die that hits 2 damage, it's not quite as good.
I feel like if I had done 8 more damage to you that game, that's a different game.
Probably.
Yeah, a little bit different. All right, any other decks you've been playing lately?
I mean, I've been just like trying to play test against people with like other meta decks, but like a fun, entertaining deck that I've been trying that actually like sort of has legs, and I think it's like a solid like tier 2-ish deck is like Elite 7th Sister with Big Daddy Vader. You still get 4 dice because of the secret droid, and then if you like, I count Vader's ability as like the equivalent of like half a die, sort of. So it's like solidly a 4 dice deck, and like you get to remove a card from your opponent's hand every turn with Vader, and then like the secret droids, if you have even 2, and it hits that discard side, like you can just really wreck your opponent's turn, and kind of like control them and. It's not a mill deck, but
it's kidding. That would be a hilarious mill deck. All right, but don't draw the secrets and lose.
But it like kind of puts your opponent in a weird position where they don't know who to kill. If they go after Vader, like you're fine because like 7th Sister, turns into a 6 die like monster, and then if they go for 7th Sister, like you can just transition into Vader with like 2 Shotos and a like Kylo's lightsaber or something like that.
Are you playing Force Powers and Holocron?
I'm not playing Holocron. I'm just playing weapons.
Oh, dude, you're playing it wrong.
Yeah.
This is the way you play that deck, man. You go free force powers and holocron on Vader, right? So that they're like, oh my god, who am I supposed to kill? Then if they focus on the Night Sister, you can put additional weapons on Vader. And if they move over to Vader, then you get to stick the Seeker droids on the Night Sister and just completely wreck them.
Yeah, that is definitely a way to take the deck.
No, that's
and
the way.
yeah.
Is that what you meant?
I'm sorry. Okay, everything that I've said has been wrong up to this point.
I'm the guy who hasn't played it. Let me tell you how your deck works, Mike.
But actually, Holocron would be pretty good in that deck because you get a lot of focus off the Seeker Droid dice, and I think that's like the best side of that die is the focus, because like once you get 2 or 3 in your pool, like you just get whatever you want because you just focus 3 dice and then just do a bunch of damage.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah. The reason why I haven't played Holocron in the deck is that I only actually have like 9 dice cards, and I mean I guess I can swap that out and try it.
Yeah,
something to think about.
Yeah, I think I'll try that as well. It sounds like a fun, promising deck.
Yeah, it's really cool. I've been enjoying it a lot. You can get No Mercy off pretty easy, and the battlefield that I've been playing is actually Ewok Village.
That's actually a great meta call right now.
Yeah,
I'm gonna put that in our meta call cards.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Village, boom. Yeah,
totally.
to be clear, it's the remove all the shields off of a character, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's amazing right now. Good call. You're so smart, Mike. You're so smart. That must be why you're on the Jedi Trials.
That must be it, right?
So real quick, we should do a quick shout out there. So in case you didn't know, Mike, the Rebel Spy, who, we launched his career to stardom here on the Smugglers Den, has moved on to greater things with the Jedi Trials. And so you can say it. You could say it. Who's the more fun person to host with, Tiny Grimes or D-House?
Ooh, I'm going to say that I'm the more fun person to host with, and that's why you guys both have me on your shows.
You know what? That seems like a darn fair answer. We're fighting over you. I actually messaged D-House and was like, it is on. If I see you in person, we're throwing down. You tried to steal Mike away. That's not happening. I'm just saying it here, Mike. You are forbidden from going on that show again.
I feel like a kid whose parents just got divorced.
Yeah, I know. And now it's ugly too. It's ugly.
It's all going to come down to who buys me better Christmas gifts.
All right, D-House got you. I got already my own kids to buy Christmas gifts for. I can't do it, Mike. I can't do it. I can't compete.
Joke's on me. I'm not getting any Christmas gifts.
Oh, boo. Sorry, man. Okay, so let's move on then from these decks. I think these are all. Oh wait, no. I had one more deck I want to talk about. My fun deck.
All right.
So I'm on a crusade. When I get something stuck in my head, I have to go for it, and I've just decided Poe at 15 is borderline broken. Let's break him. So my first try to really break him was Elite Poe Ezra Maz, and the thought was Maz would let him go a little bit faster, but it turns out you just really want blue. Like, Caution is so good in a 3-character deck. Force Illusion is so good for keeping him alive. You get more removal options that it just... Maz didn't add enough to the deck, so I ended up cutting that. But that's the game I put on the Patreon channel if you want to see that game where Mike just crushes my face in with Qui-Gon Ray. It's quite hysterical.
Yeah, Qui-Gon Kanan, but yeah, it was like, I mean, it's understandable because it's like tier 1 deck versus like experimental deck.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a game.
It was a savage beating. Let's be real. It was one of those games where I'm like, do I just hit stop? Because like, there's no point in viewing this game. I'm obviously not going to post it anywhere. Not because I'm getting beat. I'm fine posting losses, but like when it's a savage beating where there's nothing to be learned, you're like, this isn't really content at this point. This is just a whooping. That's not content. Those are different.
It's like a train wreck. Like when. Yeah.
That doesn't need to go on the news, right? Yeah. You can just talk about it. All right. So those are the decks that we've been playing. I look forward to playing a whole bunch more. I'm actually going to write down this Vader Elite Night Sister. I want to try that deck. I also want to try Kylo Grievous, though I feel like I know where that's going and that it doesn't excite me as much. I'm going to play some more of my Poe experiments. There's just not that many options for Poe that look really exciting. That's the problem. Like, I got super excited, and I pull up the card, but I'm like, oh my god, I think I'm going to try him with single die Hera and make a vehicle deck. And I'm like, oh, there's no 6-cost guy yet. Never mind. That's not going to work. I could do single die Poe, single die Hera garbage deck. That kind of defeats the purpose. So I'm still on the hunt. If you out there have any ideas other than Poe Kanan or Poe Ezra Instructor, let me know. Someone did actually let me know that they said Poe Ezra Rookie Pilot, which I'm not that excited about.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's move on from that. Interesting stuff to behold. Is there anything you're going to play this week that you're excited about?
Just looking forward to continuing to help friends, test for regionals and just try to tweak, try to tweak like Qui-Gon Kanan until I get it to a point where I'm like having a lot of fun with the deck. And
okay,
yeah.
Last question about this: how much do the Jedi Trials love you? Are they flying you out for their local regional?
No, I wish.
We know where we stand. I will happily escort you to the SoCal regional.
You'll drive to my house and pick me up.
I'll send an Uber.
Okay. All right. Cool.
All right. The next thing I want to talk about today are cards that seem to be really good for the meta right now. Some of them are going to be fairly obvious. Some of them I think not. I'm going to start. I have a potentially spicy one. Negotiate. Negotiate has kind of fallen out of favor because you have to give up one of your own dice to do it. Your opponent gets to choose. It always felt like you had to find the perfect moment, and it usually wasn't. But I've been finding in the current meta that if there's dice on the table, they're juicy quite often. Like, if the 5-dice deck rolls out and they remove any 2 of their dice, they're down to 3 dice, maybe 4 with a weapon, and those are 2 dice that won't get re-rolled into damage. Maybe, one was a resource that they were going to bait and switch. It feels like removing dice in that deck is amazing. Ezra, Sabine rolls out, misses, and you go negotiate. Boom, pull some dice off the board. It just feels like there's so many decks that negotiate is really strong against that. I'm excited for it right now. I have it in that Poe deck I was talking about, and it did some work. What do you think?
I think Negotiate's a great choice. There are a lot of decks right now that like have a fairly low dice count at the start of the game, like any of the Kylo decks, like the R2-P2 and the Qui-Gon Kanan before they start getting their upgrades going.
Yeah.
And you can just devastate people by removing a die that you don't really care about. Like, let's say in that deck that you made, like even like the Instructor or Ezra, like you don't care about like pulling back either of those dice to be able to remove 2 of your opponents. Early on in Empire at War, and like a little bit, I've still been playing a little bit. Was Ezra, Maz, Ray, and in that deck, as both Ezra and Maz are elite, so you have 4 like character dice that like in most cases aren't super strong unless you're.
That's when you've got an awesome deck, man. I'm happy to get rid of any of my dice. My deck is awesome.
Well, the synergy is awesome, and the upgrades are awesome. It's a really sweet deck if you haven't tried it. But yeah, like you can play that card super easily in that deck, along with like Double Cross and like other cards like that require you to remove a character die.
Sure.
But yeah, it's just super good, I think.
Yeah, I agree. I wonder if Double Cross actually goes in my Poe deck. It might be too expensive though. How much is Double Cross? Is it 2?
It costs 2, yeah, and you can only remove a yellow character die, which I mean,
never mind.
Yeah,
it's out. It's out before it began. What about you, Mike? What's a card that you think is really strong right now in the meta?
So since we sort of talked about it already, I'll mention Ewok Village as a battlefield. Shields are the hotness right now, so it's really good to be able to just knock off those shields at the end of a turn. It also kind of negates the like go second bonus. So it's like if they choose your battlefield, like you have the opportunity to just remove those shields that they put on their character.
Yeah.
Just by claiming, and then you get to get out ahead. And like people I think are a little bit over obsessed with getting those two shields at the start of the game, where I think in a lot of cases it's really important to get out ahead and go first every round and be in a position where you can make sort of plays ahead of your opponent.
Yeah.
So
that's an interesting
this is a way
thought.
to do that more easily.
I feel like a lot of decks that's not as much the case, but certainly some decks it is. Like the 5 dice villain deck, I feel like you kind of want to trick your opponent into claiming early, right? Like if you start passing, then they're like, oh, something's up. Whereas if you're just like, oh, gee golly, I don't know what happened. I got behind. Oh, you claimed. Cool. 3 rerolls, 2 pings. You guys are dead. And you're like, oh,
Yeah.
what happened?
Yeah.
But yeah, I can see what you're saying. A lot of decks would like to be able to play ahead.
It's kind of odd because like most of the blue hero decks are playing the Obi-Wan's Hut, which gives you shields.
Yeah.
But they're the decks that want to be going first most often because of things like guard and force misdirection.
Sure.
So like in a deck where you need to, or like even if you're playing force throw, like in a deck where you like really want to roll out ahead of your opponent, like this could be a really good battlefield for that deck.
Except
so
unless
something
it's
to
Qui-Gon
consider.
Kanan.
Right, exactly. So it's like
Yeah.
it's in a weird position where in a lot of cases, but then again, it's like if you're coming across a lot of those decks in your meta, like this is a great choice.
Yeah, and I think people are, right? I mean, we're seeing Qui-Gon
They
Kanan.
should be.
We're seeing R2-P2 being a deck that's kind of shield reliant. So yeah, I think we're seeing that a lot. Let's see. So my next one is going to be closely associated with Negotiate. It's a card that I've dogged in the past because I think it was bad in the past. Confidence. I think Confidence has really found a spot now for all the exact reasons that we just said. Like when someone rolls out that key die and you can just hit it and make them resolve it. It's really bad when Sabine misses and then they have to resolve the miss side. And they're like, oh, what? I'm not ready to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, even better if they have like a resource and they roll like the 3 disrupt for a resource, they have to resolve it, right? Like
Yeah. I like that too.
which is ugly. And then there's a lot of dice you can hit with it with like let's say that like an ancient lightsaber pops up with a shield, like you know
Even a 1.
that's a really good target. So
A
yeah,
1.
even a 1.
Sure,
Like
take your
anything to stop
damage.
them getting that 3.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I feel like Confidence is in a really good spot. I didn't like it too much before because we saw, like, especially with Palpatine heavy in the meta, it's like, I just want to remove those dice, right? Like, I don't want you to ever resolve them on any side. I don't want this card. But yeah, I just feel like it's worked its way back around, and it's secretly good now, and I don't see anyone playing Confidence, and I have it as a 2 of it in my deck.
Yeah, I like that card quite a bit. It felt like in Spirit of Rebellion, like especially after the FN deck started, getting really popular, that removal just kind of fell out of favor of it because it just wasn't good against that deck because it couldn't remove their dice most of the time.
Yeah.
So now I think it, people are getting back to a place where that is an obviously good thing to do. So.
Yep, I agree. What's your next card?
Next card is Lightsaber Training. So Lightsaber Training is a blue hero card. I think it's a hero card. It might not be though. But it says, let me look it up actually. It's 1 resource, and you get to change 2 of your blue weapon dice to the sides of your choice. So coupled with
super specific, by the way.
It is very specific, but there are a lot of
weapons.
Well, I mean that's like Poe 2, Ray 2, and Qui-Gon Kanan, and like a few villain decks play both Shoto lightsaber and ancient lightsaber,
and Lipo.
Yeah, Lipo, Ray's lightsaber. There's a lot of targets for this card right now, and paired with something like one of my favorite cards, Swiftness.
You and Swiftness, man.
It's good, dude.
I think I'm gonna start calling you Swifty.
Oh God, please don't. Um, but it can just be like 4 damage because like you have an ancient lightsaber, you have a Shoto lightsaber. You change the the ancient to the 3, and then the Shoto to the 1, and you just immediately deal 4 damage.
Yeah.
And like it's in a lot of cases like you can sort of feel out when your opponent has removal or not. And you just play this if like let's say you're already showing like a 2 from Kanan or something like that.
Oh yeah.
Change to a +2 and a +2, or a +3 and a +2, and you're at all of a sudden at like 7 damage.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot better. I feel like if you're like best case scenario, I just paid $2 to do 4 damage. You're like, really? That took 2 cards in best case scenario. But yeah, I like what you're talking about. Especially you have a Kanan die. That's a focus. You're able to like do that first, and then do another 2, and then do all that. And suddenly it's 9 damage. You're like, oh my goodness, you were only showing 4 and you did 9. Big difference.
Yeah, yeah, and you can resolve if Kanan's showing 2 focus. Like you can resolve Kanan's ability in between each of these cards. So it's like you resolve Kanan's focus and then play swiftness, and then resolve another Kanan's focus and play lightsaber chaining. So you can actually change 4 dice to the sides of your choice, which is crazy.
Now I'm liking the combo even more. You just killed every character in the game with 1 play. Nice.
Easy.
Yeah. Okay, that seems solid. All right, I'm gonna say the card that I just came up with before the show, which was Retreat. Retreat was a big favorite of mine at the end of the last meta with Poe. I feel like Retreat has a spot right now. Qui-Gon Kanan tends to be slowish. The 5 dice villain deck is incredibly slow on purpose. Yes, it'll struggle against something like Sabine Ezra, but I feel like against a lot of the decks, if you can be fast, Retreat can be awesome. But we were talking about it. Is there a legit deck, because it's hero only, is there a fast enough red hero deck? And you proposed something. What was your idea?
So I think one of the better choices is Kanan Poe, which I think we talked about a little bit a minute ago. But it's a deck that can be fast because Kanan can help you, sort of action cheat your way into being ahead of your opponent. And then, like with all the special chaining, that also can speed up your turn. So there's ways to roll out, like hit and run would seems like a card that would go in that deck. For speed. You probably want to play in that deck. So it gives you opportunities where you can roll out, do everything you want to do, and then retreat so that you don't take as much damage as whatever your opponent can't do what they wanted to do.
Yeah, I think it's a different build than the way you and I would originally conceive of building the deck, like focusing on speed rather than like sustainability kind of thing. I got another crazy idea. This might be too crazy. You could go old Poe, single die Kanan, throne room battlefield, and just bring it back, man. Instead of Poe Maz, now it's Poe Kanan.
Yeah, that's definitely possible.
I don't know. I don't know if that's better. Poe Maz still might just be better. I'm not sure.
Yeah, maybe even at 1 die.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's possible. Like if you want to hit the focus, Maz has 2. So I don't know. What about like a Baze Maz or something like that? I've never actually played the deck, but it could be fast. I don't know.
I have no way of answering that question.
Or yeah, I don't know if it's fast enough, but like Snap Pawn or something like that. I hate that deck. That's like my least favorite deck in the game, but it can be fast.
Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. I think the point is, I think Retreat would be solid right now. The reason why old Poe is so good with Retreat is because he doesn't actually need money. If you're going to play Retreat that turn, you don't have to play Removal. If you cheat it out fast enough, you just end your turn without using money. Boom, use 2, retreat. You're back. A lot of decks, I feel like in this meta, can't play Retreat. It's just so expensive.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So I don't know. I feel like it's a card that people are not using. I don't have it in the deck yet, so I'm not saying I got the secret Retreat deck. I'm just saying it feels like a card that's lurking there, and it's like, hey guys, I think I'd be good right now. And you're like, ooh, yeah, you're right. You're looking good, Retreat. I got to find a way to use you.
Yeah.
All right. You got any other cards for us?
No. Those were the 2 main ones that I was thinking of.
I'm going to throw out Intimidate, which is incredibly obvious, you're like, all right, I'm turning the show off now. Tiny's an idiot. Totally fair point. Bye. It was good. It's good having you. But my point is, I've seen a ton of lists running one Intimidate, and it's like, well, there's only so many shields. No, run two. Intimidate is just insane right now. It is like ridiculous. I played against a Qui-Gon Kanan deck the other night with my 5-dice villain, mulliganed into an Intimidate, drew another Intimidate turn 2. That's game. The game's over. Like, it's an absurdly strong play against a few decks in the meta you want to. It's that good.
Mm-hmm.
I like that analysis. Yeah. Thanks for saying the obvious, Tiny. Really appreciate it. You're awesome. Another card I put on here is a card I've been touting for several weeks now. Still not seeing Old Phasma anywhere. Unless your name is Taxter, you're not playing Old Phasma, and he will be playing Old Phasma after it rotates out. He'll be showing up to events and be like, come on, guys. Let me play my Phasma. People are like, okay, it's Taxter. We'll let him play his Phasma. No one else is allowed to. But other than him, it just feels like people are like, Phasma, we know she's great, but we're not interested. I feel like we need to be interested.
Yeah, I think Phasma is really good. I haven't played it, so I don't have like a ton of insight on its matchups and stuff like that, but
yeah.
It doesn't seem like it's any worse than it was before, and it was good. So
yeah, I feel the same way. Like it can shield up pretty easily with like Hunker Downs against something like Sabine, Ezra, so they can't just nerf. Blitz down. I believe nerk is not a word. They can't just blitz down Phasma. You get to just yank off those 5-dice decks. Oh, you rolled some damage. Boop, gone. I just think that deck is in an amazing spot, and it's being incredibly overlooked right now. But I too have like no games in with it, so I'm just spouting garbage, and people are going to be like, "It's not good because I tested it and it's bad." But I disagree. I really think it's good.
I think it's good too. Yeah.
All right. I think that's it for our meta cards. So that's quite a few cards that we're looking at that we think. Try them out. I think you're going to be happy to use them. All right. Well, let's look at some regional results then before we head out of here today. Not entirely shocking. So we've got. Let's start with the Austin list. They've got Sabine Ezra as the winner. Are you surprised to see Sabine Ezra win a regional?
No, not really. It's a good deck. I don't think it's like the most consistent deck in the world, but when it rolls well, it's like almost unbeatable.
Yeah.
So I am not surprised.
I'm a little surprised. Like, the only reason I'm not is because I feel like enough people are running it. It was like the Django Veers deck. I was like, that can't actually win tournaments. And then it won a couple because it was like half the field ran it. And I was like, okay, well, obviously if half the field's going to run it, someone's going to roll fire that day and win. But I feel like this list is a little bit different than the norm, right? It's not just a roll fire or lose list. And you were talking about this earlier off the air, so why don't you jump in here?
Yeah. I think that this is my favorite Sabine Ezra deck that I've seen. There's 2 Maz's Goggles, which is pretty cool. The special is really nice, and being able to hit 2 focus and like not have to rely on just rolling out and resolving is obviously pretty sweet. And then there's like Hyperspace Jump in there, which is, I don't think like super common card in that deck. But I haven't played a ton of it, so I don't totally know. And then instead of Starship Graveyard, he was playing Moisture Farm, which I really like. Being able to get resources at the start of your turn to set up for like that Hyperspace Jump, or be able to have more money to pay for your like X8 3-side, or like your DL44 3-side, or Never Tell Me the Odds, something like that. So I quite like this version.
I totally agree. I think Moisture Farm is a really, really good fit. You're usually going to claim first, and if you need the money, you can always claim first. And yeah, you know what's interesting? I just realized this. We were both thinking about, wow, Hyperspace Jump is awesome in that deck, and I totally agree. But it's in there in place of Second Chance. I didn't realize that at first. There's no Second Chance in this deck.
No, there's 2.
There's 2? Am I blind?
Yeah. It's on the other side.
Okay, I was like, wow, that is a bold move. No second chance. Oh my god. Okay.
It's with all the other upgrades.
Yeah, that's a good point. Okay, thanks, Mike. Thanks for
Weird,
saving
right?
the show. Okay, we're not gonna cut that. That's fine. Tiny makes mistakes. Nothing new there to be heard. But yeah, so Moisture Farm helps with the second chance as well. I mean, I feel like Hyperspace Jump is really, really good in this deck. That you're going to be going fast. Let's go fast and get out. It's Poe Maz all over again.
100% agree. Yeah, really, really cool version of the deck. I'm like kind of itching to try it out.
Yeah, this is the first version where I've looked at it and said this might be legit. The other ones I felt like, yeah, they're fine, they're good, they're gonna win games. I mean, you're gonna roll well and win, but in a long day, single a limb kind of format, it feels like a really dicey deck to play. But boy, Hyperspace Jump, that has me going. I like it.
Yeah.
And then you get to play because you have Moisture Farm. All right. Another deck that won this weekend was Elite, new Kylo, and then Single Die Vader. Any thoughts on that? Were you surprised to see that deck win a major event?
I don't know if I was surprised. I was surprised that it beat out like the Rainbow 5 decks to get there. I'm not super surprised it beat Qui-Gon Caden because it's a monocolored deck. It's like built to prey on that.
Yep.
But I will say that deck is super strong when it works. It's fairly easy to get off your like Rise Agains and to hit those No Mercy plays that people rarely see coming for whatever reason. But it's strong even as a 3-die deck. I think it's like really good. I don't think I would put it in like the top 2 best decks, but I might put it in the top 3 or 4.
Yeah, I feel like I agree with you that if we're gonna say tier 1 is this really inclusive group with like 7 decks, 8 decks, 10 decks, this easily goes in. But if we're gonna say tier 1 is like the 5 dice villain deck and whatever else, I agree. I feel like this is a step below that. And yeah, like you said, it's a pretty darn good accomplishment to be able to beat Rainbow 5s. My guess is in those Rainbow 5s games, you got lucky. You guessed the right color a couple times.
Yeah.
If you can and knock out Bala real quick, you're going to be in business. We played this last night, and I got 2 holocrons immediately, and then never saw Force Power. I got a Rise Again, and I would have been able to play it next turn. And then you rolled 2 discard sides on your ridiculous Ray, and then just resolved them because Ray's dice were bad. And I was like,
I knew you had that Rise Again in your hand. I was just like, this has to go.
Yep. So it was actually a blowout. But you did roll fire with your 1 and 2 damage. It was like 2 damage, 2 damage. Like, what's going on? How many damage dice are on there, Mike? Do you have these defective TTS dice? Do you have to do the saltwater test on them?
Yeah, I must. The one thing I'll say about that game is that like once you put both of those holocrons on Vader, I was like, all right, my plan is I'm killing Vader first, and those holocrons are not getting any upgrades. They're not going back to his hand. He's not playing them on Kylo.
See,
so that was kind of my plan. I don't know if that was right. I think
I baited you there, man. I baited you.
I know.
Because there's so many Force Powers, it was going to be easy to at least get one of those back in hand, especially with an illusion. That was my plan. Pull it with an illusion, put it on Kylo. You've already committed to Vader, and now you're dead. And instead, my deck was like, "What's up? Force Powers? I don't even know what those are. What are you talking about? Force Powers?"
Yeah. Really I don't, because in retrospect, like let's say I go for Kylo and it takes me like as long as it took me to kill Vader to kill Kylo.
Yeah.
Like Vader then has like 2 mind probes or like a mind probe and a force throw or something like that.
Sure.
Like that seems a bit scarier to me. I'm not quite sure what the actual right answer there is, which is part of what makes that deck really, really good and really interesting.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm not saying you made the wrong call. I'm just saying I purposely did that to bait you into it.
Yeah. Oh,
so that
absolutely.
I would then be able to get force, because like once you committed to Vader, if I could get a Force Power early on both of them, you were dead, right? Because it was going to be oh my God, Kylo's just going to destroy me now. Like a 4 dice Kylo would have been a wrecking. But instead,
for sure.
I look like an idiot, and you're just like, all right, I'll just kill the Vader with multiple holocrons. I'm like, okay, cool. I did get 1 back in time, I can't remember what I
Yeah,
got
with
out.
the illusion. Yeah.
Okay, so I did. I was able to pull the illusion, but I rolled garbage. You rolled fire. It was one of those games where it was like all
Yeah.
blanks. I was like, okay, all right, this
Mm-hmm.
happens.
Mm-hmm.
That game I
Yeah.
don't think ended up getting published. And the reason again was not because I lost. It was because I complained the whole time into the camera. And I was like, I don't think this is an enjoyable content, actually. This is just like me complaining for 40 minutes while I get whooped. And it took a long time, too, right? It took
That was a long game,
long
yeah.
time.
Yeah.
All right. So we've got this list. Again, it's a good list for sure. I think we both think it's a little bit of a step below, which is great. Again, like I said last week, I don't think the tier 1 decks are... We're back to Awakenings. Remember, with Awakenings, my tier lists were always like, this is tier 1, but any tier 2 deck on any given day can beat a tier 1 deck. And then with the Spirit of Rebellion, it was like, here's tier 1, don't play another deck unless you want to lose.
Yep. Yeah. I love like where it is right now. I think this is like an incredible place for the game to be.
Yeah, I'm kind of excited to make another tier list because it's so open. It's gonna draw so much hatred. With Spirit of Rebellion, people were just like, "Yeah, thanks for stating the obvious, Tiny. It's real helpful."
Right.
Let's see. Last deck that won a regional. This is what we're gonna draw some problems with. R2P2 won a regional, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, okay. Here, I will say this: it got 2 slots in this regional's top 8, but it didn't get top 8 in either of the other 2 regionals.
Yeah.
So
with a pretty big showing too, from what I heard. Like there were quite a few of it, and it didn't make top 8. So I don't know what that means. Does that mean the Australian guys are better at piloting it? Does it mean they're worse at handling it? Does it mean that Australian pilot is great at rolling fire with Ray? I don't know, but like I said, I don't think it's a bad deck. I just think Ray is not the best partner.
yeah, I think like part of it, and I mean even maybe a small part of it, could be that their meta is like a little bit different than ours.
Sure.
Like I know during Spirit of Rebellion and like maybe even during Awakenings, they were playing like a fairly different version of Vader Raider that was like that was like the like number 1 Australian deck basically.
Interesting.
And I don't know if that has carried over to this meta, where they kind of just like approach it differently, or they have different decks to contend against. But this regional also had a Phasma in the top 8, so that's pretty sweet.
They did? Oh, I'm excited to hear that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I mean we've talked about this deck. My thoughts stand.
Yeah, same here. I know it won a regional. You don't have to put a comment below. Tiny, you're an idiot. That deck won a regional. I know it won a regional, but I still stand by my opinion. I think there's a better version. And again, I'm not saying it's a bad deck. I just think Poe is that good that he carries Ray, and I think we have other ways to make that work better. That's all I'm saying.
I also. Oh no, sorry.
Go ahead. No.
I don't understand Medical Droid.
Yeah, that's a mistake.
I don't know.
I know it won a regional again, but you know me. A deck won a world championship. I called that deck a mistake, so I'm not going to be afraid of calling a mistake in a regional deck. Okay, well, that's one thing you can get from me is mistakes. So, Mike, thanks so much for coming by. It was great having a fellow content creator, podcast host on. I hope this does not mean this is like a goodbye, farewell. Thanks for launching my podcasting career. But hopefully you'll be back again sometime soon, man.
Whenever you want me back, I'm down.
What's the next day Jedi Trials host? Because that's when I want you back. Oh, enough of that.
We record on Monday night, so I'll see you next Monday.
Okay, sounds perfect. I'll let D-House know. All right, well, thanks so much, Mike. Anything you want to plug on the way out?
No, just if you haven't gotten a chance to check out Jedi Trials, check it out and let me know what you think.
All right, I second that one. Check it out. I got to hear a little bit of the new Jedi Trials with Mike, and I'm excited. I can't wait to see where you guys take it. For myself,
thanks, man.
Check out the YouTube channel. More videos are going up now. I'm back to making, at least for now, several gameplay videos a week. I'm testing out bunches of new stuff, playing meta decks, getting more familiar with them, and making gameplay videos for them. So hopefully They'll be interesting. Certainly, if you're in the mood to troll, that's the place to go. I make mistakes in those games, man. Just hammer me, flame away about the mistake I made. I'm sure there's several. And check out the Patreon page. I am active once more, so that'll be a lot of fun. I enjoy posting. I post a lot of games there that don't make it to the regular channel because I don't consider them to be the same level of content. But if you really enjoy just like seeing me, especially seeing me at my worst, just getting wrecked, oh, that's a great place to go. There's a lot of ammunition over on the Patreon page. So thanks again, Mike, for coming by, and thanks for everyone for tuning in. We'll see you next week on the Smugglers Den. Until then, keep smuggling. Keep smuggling.